here at UDS in Orlando, Florida, and I'm with Marco Ceppi. Marco, you are one of the community elected moderators for AskUbuntu.
That's correct.
So, as a moderator, what do you do?
Well, essentially, we help to guide the community and by doing things that the community members can't necessarily do, whether it be cleaning up bad questions or moving questions that don't particularly belong on the site, closing questions that are duplicates, and becoming basically the arm of the community for maintenance stuff. So we kind of act upon the community, or from the community, what they suggest, and we go ahead and take care of the actions that the normal user wouldn't be able to do.
You know, when AskUbuntu first rolled out, people were sort of questioning how it was different from forums, how would it replace forums, that sort of, not really sure what it was all about. And since that time, especially this past cycle, it's really gelled, it's really become a solid resource in the community, which is exciting. I like web-based type answering question forums. What to you is the best, what does AskUbuntu offer that maybe some other resources don't offer, and what's the most exciting piece to it for you?
Well, what I really liked, I was more a part of the Stack Exchange community with their site Stack Overflow and Server Fault prior to the launch of AskUbuntu. So I was lucky that I knew kind of the format of it, but what I like most of all about what it does compared to other sites out there like forums is that it's all peer reviewed. There's a sense that, you're achieving one goal of asking questions and getting those answers, and it cuts the rest of it out. So there's no discussions, there's no ongoing troubleshooting. I know the main comparison that we use is compared to the forums, where you may have a question and then an answer on page 57 or somewhere down where you have to really hunt for it. The Stack Exchange engine really does a good job of saying this is the question and then clearly states this is the answer to the solution. And then the rest of it just kind of melts away into the background, all the discussions that took to get to that solution and to really lock down that answer. So what it really does for the community is it gives it a concrete base to say, if you have a problem, if you have a question, here's where you go. And the site also does a really good job of helping to point users to the right direction, the right community outlets for other things. So if you have a bug report, we're very diligent about saying, this is a bug report and we appreciate you finding this. It needs to go on Launchpad or the respective upstream bug tracker. And we help to train the users, or to teach them rather, this is where you go for these kind of issues. Or if someone's posting a discussion piece where they're talking about, they're asking opinionated questions, or what's the best of, or what's your opinion on this? We try to tell them, this is a great question, but it doesn't belong on here because there's really no concrete answer. There's opinions and subjectiveness. It doesn't work very well on the site. So we say, there's IRC channels for live discussions. There's the forums, which does a great job of harboring the community, where users can just go hang out and ask and get people's experiences and backgrounds and really learn from each other as far as, what people think, what people like. But as far as, this comparison between the forums and AskUbuntu does a great job of answering people's questions. The forums does a great job of taking care of the rest of that, the things that really aren't suitable for the site. So we're really narrow scoped compared to the forums.
When I first heard about AskUbuntu, and as you know, George Castro is very excited about, his excitement, I think, makes a common, he makes people who are really enthusiastic look like they're almost asleep because of his enthusiasm toward the site. How common is it for people to get that caught up and spend hours just navigating AskUbuntu and voting questions up or voting them down or getting caught in answering some of these questions? I know I saw you and George last night here at UDS answering questions till late in the night, and you both were energized and excited about that. How often do you hear about people doing that?
I get it quite often. The two complaints that I have from people about AskUbuntu is that it's too addictive, and they don't have enough bandwidth with the rest of their projects to really spend time on the site, or that it's just they just spend way too much time on it in general. And Stack Exchange has done similar to Ubuntu, where Ubuntu is really about the community and getting everyone involved. Stack Exchange has that similar mentality. That's why they mesh so well. Is let's build a community of experts answering people's questions, and they really build those devices into the system. So it really is a game in the sense. You're gaining reputation, you're voting, you're downvoting, you're participating, and as you participate, more and more of the site becomes available to you. And that's what becomes a very addictive of qualities. I only need X amount more before I can get to this next stage. And so in that respect, it's addictive, but it's a nice reward for helping people, is that you get this recognition of, oh, okay, I'm helping people and something good is happening in return. So, I mean, I'm personally probably on the site 8 hours a day. I can't get enough of the interaction with the people and helping the community and really being a part of shaping and helping people get answers. So it's difficult. It is difficult to use AskUbuntu, especially if you have that addictive personality.
I think I fall into that category. I had to sort of step away from it for a little while because I was going, oh, I get more points. And somebody would offer a bounty on a question and offer, more points if you go in and your answer is accepted as, the answer on that question, or first person to answer it gets, whatever. And
Sure.
It is a game and it is addictive. What, if anything, can users look forward to in this 1204 LTS cycle from AskUbuntu?
We really, this UDS, I'm trying to grab as many tasks as possible to help integrate AskUbuntu better into the community. I know there's been talk about doing certain things with local pages to help make users in locos and in the area aware of who the experts are, where they are, using the data from AskUbuntu, and helping to integrate AskUbuntu into things like maybe into Launchpad and working our way into that venue, and helping just to promote it as a content provider, in whether it be in Google search engine results or more integration into the community, including it on more pages. I know there's a couple of redesigns coming down the pipe this cycle that'll help to really help users understand that there are these community resources, not just IRC and forums, but there's IRC forums, AskUbuntu, and other various venues which to get support. I think that the more ways we can help the users, that they're accustomed to, whether it be in IRC if you're used to IRC, or forums if you're used to using the forums, AskUbuntu if you're used to using this web question and answer format. The more venues that we have and veins for users to go in there, the better we can help support our community in general.
Is there anything about AskUbuntu that we haven't touched on that you would like to talk about now? That's a loaded question. Well,
I could talk all day about AskUbuntu, to be honest.
that is quite all right. And I'm as a user, not only as someone who likes to interview the people who create all aspects of technology, but as that end user, I like personally the AskUbuntu site. I like that interaction. I like knowing that I can find quality answers that have been voted up by those experts, and I know that I can contribute. It's a low barrier to contribution it lowers the barrier without lowering the standard. And so, for those who don't know, how can they get involved with AskUbuntu?
Well, sure. I was just about to mention, there is this idea that people seem, when they first come to the site, become a little intimidated because there are a lot of questions on there. I think currently we have somewhere in the realm of 26,000 questions total that we've accumulated over the last year. But you don't have to jump in and start answering questions, especially if you don't have a question to ask. A lot of times we need help with editing questions. Any user who can sign on the site can edit a question. And it has that wiki mentality where revision histories are tracked, but you can still edit to improve the quality of the question. So if there's some grammar mistakes, if there's maybe something that was left out, or maybe some additional details that you could put into that question to make it a better quality question for the experts to come answer, that's helping out, and you get reputation for doing that as well. Likewise, if you just prodding and going through questions and finding ones that need more attention from a moderator, maybe something that's already been asked or something that isn't actually on topic for the site, going through and flagging those for moderator review helps us to make sure the site is really at that level of quality that it needs to be in order to be a really valuable resource to the community. So those are just ways to participate without actually having to provide or sit there and actually answer questions and find the resources for these.
Well, Marco, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me here at this UDS in Orlando. And I'm looking forward to what you and the other moderators and other developers and community members ask and answer on AskUbuntu. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.